All right. So, everybody, if y'all are tuned in right now, we have Leah with the Austin Hemp Tours.
Hey,
And so, how are you doing?
man, I'm doing great. Just getting used to that virtual life, and trying to stay positive. So I appreciate you so much having us on. Your event in person was always one of the most fun things to go to, and your virtual live stream has been just as fun. So shout out for being consistent and holding it down.
Oh, thank you so much. And what was very interesting is the fact that when I first heard about y'all, it was actually through Grace with the Texas CBD blog, and she does so much amazing stuff for the CBD community. Shout out to Grace.
For
And
sure.
it was just so interesting the fact that y'all were doing like this traveling educational a hemp tour. So can you explain to the people like how that came about and like how y'all been transitioning as far as during these quarantines?
Yeah, for sure. We got in the hemp industry about almost 3 years ago, and we didn't really know what we wanted to do, like a lot of people. So we spent about a year just going to trade shows and meeting people and trying to figure out like where's our place in all this. So from that sort of evolved manufacturing business that we learned a lot, but it didn't really fit like what we saw ourselves doing. And we just saw this drastic need for not only education to the consumer, which is definitely needed, but also sort of a gap in education on the other side, the retailer side, the manufacturing side, and we felt like it was a good fit for our core competencies, and also really what we wanted to do with our life. Like we wanted to be out there helping people on the grassroots level versus just manufacturing a product and bringing that to market. So came up with the thought. Obviously, there have been other cannabis tours around the country that we were inspired by, for sure. Shout out 420 Tours and LA Hemp Tours and those guys. But we wanted to bring a model that was a little bit different here, obviously being in a hemp legal state, but not a full recreational or full adult use state. We saw a unique opportunity to sort of lure people in with the appeal of a cannabis tour, but then shift it into education once they got on the tour. And it's been so much fun. One of the coolest things is that we survey people during the tour and after the tour to get their opinions. We want to know what they know about hemp, what they learned about hemp, and it's always crazy because I think it's 92% have tried CBD before, but only like less than 10% know the difference between full spectrum, broad spectrum, isolates, so there's a big gap there that we really enjoy filling for people. And
you know and, that, and that's super amazing because like that gap, and that's with customers and the retail, like you were saying before, as far as being able to bridge that gap, because there's a lot of us, there's people that want to get into the CBD world, and not having as far as a full understanding of things. It's just like it just helps more, when you're able to have these tours that you're able to go on to and just be like, oh snap, because like the way that the Texas CBD Fair came about was just, I was just like, you know what, I love markets, and I was like, is there just a regular market just full of CBD vendors? And I was all like, no, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and do it because I want to see it. Like, I personally want to be able to go around, like, like the vape shows or the different, like the, when I went to the Marley Fest in Austin, I want to say 2014, 2014 to 2015. It was so amazing. That was my first time going, but it was so amazing, like seeing, like I'm a merchant by heart. Like I think in several past lives, I definitely was like a traveling merchant because I love it on a very core art level. Just the need for trade and the different stories people people have and why they got into it and different things like that. So it's just like the traveling carny. That's probably what I was in a past life. Like it's definitely a traveling carny. But you know, it's like I love the fact of being able to, you know, have something that comes to you. You know, whether it be the hemp tours or a market, what this does is it brings the education, it brings all of these different things to you that you normally wouldn't be able to see, you know, or go to just on a normal basis, you know.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and you get that sort of one-on-one connection with people on a tour or at a market that to ask questions and they're a little more willing to share what they really know and don't know because it's that intimate setting, you know, that you're facilitating.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, and you know how so you know what's very interesting is I pay attention as far as like I'm here. I'm based in San Antonio, but I frequent a lot to Austin, and you know when I think about just the different things as far as that are going on and how progressive Austin has been, especially when it comes to the cannabis, but with that freedom comes like other things, you know, on the, you know, lower end of that, you know, spectrum. So there's still like several things to push through and different things like that. What are some of the challenges that you faced as far as doing the hemp tours in Austin, that you've encountered, if any?
Yeah, I think the community as a whole has been extremely accepting of us. You know, we are a very cannabis friendly community here in Austin, and that certainly played for our favor being based here. So we've had a lot of support from, you know, all of the local publications, the Chronicle, Statesman, as well as all the way to City Council. I will say we were really shocked and surprised when, you know, the news came out that Austin was going to force the retailers to close as non-essential business because most of them had already transitioned to curbside and delivery, which, you know, definitely presented a much safer option for people who still needed to get their products. And I think we'll find out more about why that went down after this. It's been kind of mum on it, but the blame was shifted to our health services department. And then that blame was shifted to the state health services department, who is actually also going to be in charge of the hemp retailer license. So we're not exactly sure where the disconnect was, why they thought it wasn't an essential business, but we want to get to the bottom of that at some point. And that's really what we're all about, you know, is we want to provide a place for retailers and brands and consumers to come to get the most accurate information on every front, regulations, you know, the legalities around hemp, the history, just like a place that they can find that most accurate and up-to-date information, white papers, all of that kind of thing. So trying to facilitate a real educational look at cannabis, but not taking all of the fun out of it. So when they originally announced the smokable ban, I was like, you guys just ruined my hemp tour. And, you know, because like smoking the pre-rolls is one of the really cool things because you do feel like you're in Colorado, California. Yeah, it's you get that sort of community feel. So it sounds like things might be loosening on that front, and we'll certainly stay tuned to see what happens. But I'm hopeful that the state allows the smokable hemp to stay for sure. But it's a majorly exciting time in hemp, man. I mean, to imagine there's plants in the ground right now. We've had farmers sending us pics, and it's crazy. It's like we have hemp in Texas legal for real with licensing, you know, like,
Oh
whoa.
yeah. Like that's one of the big things when you know like I'm a baby in this industry and a baby in life, you know, but the one thing that I do notice is patterns, and it's just like when I look at, you know, Texas as being so big, and I was just like, I don't know, like if they get in the cannabis front, like this is they could be able to, you know, do some things, you know, just for and then the fact on how it came about, like it wasn't on you know, the THC level and the recreational level, which I thought was very, very interesting. But it came on a health level that I don't even think they fully understood when approving, hemp and like CBD and everything like that, which I know is like good for us, like to be able to push the education so people know. But I think that it just allows for the another aspect of hemp and the uses of hemp. Like when I see people that are building buildings out of hemp brick, like it is some of the coolest stuff that I'm like, yes, this there needs to be more of this. And with Texas, it's just all like having the retailers from Texas have to be able to go in house in Texas and not have to go out. I feel like that's going to be such a step forward for us, and a luxury that we, in not too many other fields, I don't in the business world, we've gotten a chance to fully benefit from, as being someone who can now manufacture and ship out of Texas, but also just to be able to give products and for retailers to be able to order from farms here. I think that that is like going to
Game
be next
changer.
level.
It really is. It's going to be amazing, to see. We're really going to know where this product came from because it's down the street versus right now where, we hope that the brand knows, and they usually do, but it's just going to bring a layer of transparency. I'm super passionate about the hempcrete and all the construction stuff. I was in the construction industry for about 17 years. And it's funny because a really good friend of ours in that industry actually went into cannabis a few years back, and he sent me yesterday some of the ASTM standards that are being written up for the industry, not only on construction side in hemp, but for labs, for all of these different parts of the industry. So that's pretty exciting too, because ASTM is, I think, probably the world's most renowned standards organization. So once we have things like that behind us, then I think it'll make it easier for the FDA to clarify and like get off the pot on this
Oh yeah.
ridiculousness of just the confusion they've created around it, which is impeding consumer adoption. So I can't wait to see, as we emerge over the next 5 years, how legitimized the industry really gets, even more than it already is now. And hemp's a big part of that, obviously. It opens
Oh,
so many doors.
oh yeah, and the way I see it is I've been looking at, branding during this time, and I've been seeing a lot of articles pop up about cannabis, pop up about CBD, riding the waves during this time because the uh, like my use of CBD or THC in general has always been smoking, but that from what I'm seeing, especially when you look at a lot of what's coming out that people are ordering, CBD and hemp is, when I look at the smoking industry, check, check. Can you hear me? All right. So still got you here. So let me bring you back on real quick, and then we're gonna close it out, and then we'll let them know we're gonna have y'all in next week here. All right. Let's see. Show in. All right, guys. Sorry about that little technical glitch on my end. But what I was saying before that was just there's been a lot of articles that have been coming out just from business websites and things like that that I've been seeing when it comes to CBD and hemp in general. What is one thing that you're excited when it comes to the hemp industry that you have not seen yet?
I think I'm really excited for the time, hopefully within a year from now, where hemp is grown in Texas, processed in Texas, and made into a t-shirt, rope. All of these, we know there's like 20 something thousand uses of hemp. I want to be able to go out and get like hemp t-shirts that are not from China, and beyond that, that are actually from Texas. So I'm hopeful we're going to get the supply chain in place, that we're going to get to start really seeing use of these super cool products that already wick moisture and have all these amazing properties and are going to be feeding our farmers right here in the state of Texas.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. That's one of the things that I'm like excited to see. And it's this I think that this is do it it's giving everybody a good pause. And a lot of people who just weren't well known, this is a good time to just be, branding, and getting out the information. So, so we're excited to have y'all on next week. But before we let you go, leave the people with like some words of wisdom during this time and where they can find y'all at online.
Yeah, for sure. You can check us out on Instagram at Hemp Tours, and also our website, higheredhemptours.com. We have free intro to CBD courses there. We actually have just got up a virtual tour, so you can go back into some inside of some stores that we had filmed previously and do little tours. So we'd love to help you get through this time together. I think it's affected all of us in a lot of different ways, but it has affected all of us. So that's the thing about this virus, is that it's been a time to really slow down, sort of get get inside our own heads a little bit, and hopefully for everyone, it's been a time of self-reflection that's going to make us all better going forward, so that we can keep on really creating a great reality, and amazing reality here. I think it's one of those things where you can find the negative in it for sure if you barely look, but you can find a positive in it if you look a little harder. So keeping that, first in our minds, and we stay on our mission, which is to connect an educated consumer with verified brands and retailers. So we're going to keep on kicking it. And we're super excited about events coming back, the market coming back, tours coming back. For us, we're probably looking at a little bit into August or September on that, but we'll keep everyone updated. And we can't wait to come back and hang with you next week. There we go. Are you back? Little little technical difficulties. Well, shout out to the Texas CBD Fair Market. Thank you so much for having us on today. I can't wait to be back with you next week. I'll get Cynthia on here. We'll maybe have a little Spanish English convo. We'll see what happens. So we're stoked to come back and join you.
Wait to have y'all on too. It's going to be super fun. And thank you for joining us today. It's like a really beautiful day outside. I'm just all like, oh, it's definitely getting those summer vibes. But thank you so much for joining us today. And yes, we're going to be on next week. So yes, having both y'all on here is going to be super fun. But enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you so much.
I definitely will. We'll see you soon.
Alrighty, bye.